Hello and welcome to the Behind Closed Doors podcast. My name is Alicia Aberley and I'm so grateful that you have joined us in this space. Behind Closed Doors is all about the types of conversations that we only usually have with our best friend, our partner, our counselor, our coach. And sometimes it's the conversations that we don't actually have with anybody else at all. The women that are interviewed in this space are all women that are making a difference to the planet. They're women that are inspiring and empowering. The intention is that you too will feel inspired and empowered by these conversations. So grab a cup of your favorite drink, pop your feet up, and enjoy this episode of Behind Closed Doors. Today I'm chatting with an incredible woman by the name of Danielle. Psychic D is a solution-based psychic, fully certified, advanced law of attraction and intuitive counselor. Danielle prides herself on walking her walk and talking her talk, sharing spirit's knowledge, her wisdom, and her own personal experiences to inspire others. Her experience spans over 25 years, researching all things personal development, whilst mastering her craft as a gifted psychic intuitive. What you see is what you get. She is real, honest, authentic, and raw. Her belief is that there is always a solution to any man-made problem, and her current success proves this to be true. Hello and welcome, Danielle.
Hi, thanks for having me, Alicia.
You're so welcome. I'm so excited to chat with you today.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be fabulous. Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. So you're on the sunny Gold Coast?
I am, the beautiful Hope Island. And it's very sunny today. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Well, it's freezing up here on the Sunshine Coast. So
I'll send some your way.
Good. So today we're going to have a chat about understanding the laws of attraction, something that you're very familiar with, and going from victim space to victor space, and also overcoming personal obstacles. So
absolutely.
Where would you like to start?
I don't know. No. I will start with the law of attraction.
Perfect.
Well, the law of attraction actually comes very naturally to me because I'm a natural born psychic. So I've had this knowledge ever since I was a little child, and to be honest, I don't know any different than being psychic. I've always had the ability to see the future. So I'm very sensitive when it comes to reading energy, feeling energy, seeing energy. So it wasn't until probably about 6 years ago that I got certified by Joe Vitale from The Secret that I actually started properly applying the laws of attraction to my life. So it's been amazing. In 6 months, I manifested a brand new car off the showroom floor. I manifested my waterfront living here on the Gold Coast. I was living in the Bronx of Brisbane at the time. And and I did it all on a carer's pension. I did it. I was a full-time carer for my mum. She's now in a facility as of a few weeks ago. So I am living proof that whatever you think that matches your feelings, they align up and they attract everything into your current experience. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Well done. That's amazing. So for people that may have heard about law of attraction and aren't quite familiar with how it works, or may have a little bit of skepticism around that, or would love to implement it more in their daily life, where do they start, Danielle? Like, what is the law of attraction and how do we tap into that?
Well, I think the main important thing is to believe that the laws of attraction are at play in our life. The laws of attraction are as natural as gravity. Everyone believes in gravity, even though they don't know the logistics of actually gravity. So what goes up must come down. So instead of allowing life and our experiences to be like gravity and let us fall to the floor every single time, if you fully embrace the laws of attraction, you can manifest anything in your life if you have a belief that what you energetically put out there comes back to you. So I'm not really one to teach the scientific version of that because I'm just a natural practicer of this. So, but there are brilliant teachers out there who can get all scientific if people are like that.
Yeah.
But and once again, because I was born this way, I don't know how it is to be normal per se.
Got you.
It's it is quite difficult for me to explain it. All I can say in a nutshell for people starting off is that your thoughts and your mindset govern all. If that's the biggest lesson I've learned. Back in 92, I was diagnosed with bipolar because I always laughed at everything. I always saw the bright side. I found it very troublesome to get caught in the I couldn't feel sorry for myself. but the programming that you have as a child, and especially going into your teens, especially, I love working with teens. That programming is so active in your vibration. It's very hard to shift out of that and to focus on self and to do what you want to do as an individual. So mindset, once again, I think everyone needs to focus on their mindset first, because when you control your thoughts control your emotions. And when you're feeling good and you're feeling pumped and you're excited, and that's the natural joyful state of being connected with source energy, things just start flowing in. Things just absolutely start flowing in. So think right, feel the same, look towards the future, rather how it is or how it's been, and you can create marvelous things for yourself. Marvelous.
I love that.
Yeah.
Something that I learned through, I love Esther and Jerry Hicks. I love what they teach. And something I learned from them is that we can want something all like, how do I start with that? We can want, our dream house, and we can want riches, and we can want all of these things in our lives. But if we are not in vibrational alignment with that, if all of our being doesn't believe that we can have that, then we're out of alignment with that thing that we want. So in order for us to get into alignment with what we want, we have to think about it first. Is that what you teach through the Law of Attraction? Or what?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the biggest thing I've learned is that you've got to get selfish. You've got to come back to self. You've got to really take everybody else out of the picture and focus on self. Harder for the teens, obviously, until they turn 18 and can legally make their own choices and stuff. But Esther Hicks is my God. She's my absolute God. I actually connected with her, not necessarily for the Law of Attraction stuff. I connected because she channels Spirit's message the same way as I do. And it's so natural for us to do that. So she is spot on. And the humor that Spirit have, that's exactly what they like. Yeah. My clients now, like I'll sit there and Spirit will have a really jokey sort of stab at someone. Not a stab, but it's very jokey and stuff. And as soon as I met Esther Hicks, I just went, yes, this woman's speaking truth. This woman's speaking truth. Yeah.
So for all of our listeners out there that haven't listened to any of Esther Hicks, Esther and Jerry Hicks, Esther channels Abraham, and Abraham is like Spirit, like
mass conscious energy. So it's the same as God. A lot of people believe that God is a person who has this magical wand who can fix everything in the world, or, some people don't believe in a God because they say, why do kids get sick? Why would kids get sick? If there's a God, why? God is basically, how I envision it, is a black mass, and it's mass conscious energy. It's all the non-physical energies all together, having a party, working together, and it's up to us to align with them. So God isn't doing anything to anybody. We are all attracting and creating the life that we desire. We are doing it ourselves. So that's why it's important to go back to being selfish and looking after self first.
Great.
So
love that, Danielle. And so from that, in that space of being selfish and diving deep into that space for somebody so that they can create and can manifest all that they want, when they are selfish, is it looking after their own wants and desires and needs first before others? Is that where you're going with that?
Absolutely. And the misconception of being selfish, because that's just a human word, it's about honoring self. You can't give from an empty pot. You cannot attract what you want if you're not vibrating what you want. So, so can you just say what you just said again? So I've got Spirit in my ear now. This is the problem that I have. That's Spirit going, tell them this, tell them that, but it's totally off topic.
Okay. You know what? I would love, if Spirit's coming through for you right now, I would love for you to share what they would like you to share. That would be great.
To be honest, it's going to take me a while to decipher it. So, because I call myself, I'm in Danielle mode and then I'm in reading mode. So reading mode is on a much higher frequency. Yeah. It's, I don't remember what happens around me and stuff. It's kind of like being on a weird drug. It's natural high. Yeah. But they're starting to chat as I'm trying to talk and they're distracting me. So I'm just telling them just to back off a sec. Later. That's
all right. Well, if anything comes through any time that you want to share and it's the right time, please feel free to do so. That's awesome.
Yeah. But back to the selfish thing. It is about taking time out for self. This is why a lot of people go on retreats or hibernate for a little while. They're not being lazy. It's actually the smartest thing that anyone can do is to take time out for themselves. And it's about unprogramming the known program beliefs that we've received as children. Mm-hmm. You can't have it all. There's a big one. You can't have it all. I know for myself personally, I was wearing a bikini when I was a child, and I was about 10 or 11 or something like that. And one of my family members come up when I was sunbaking on the beach and sort of gave me a shove and said, "Here's the beach whale." And as soon as he said that, I said, "I'm a beach whale." I just instantly believed that I was a beach whale, and for 42 years, I haven't ever worn a bikini again. Wow. So this is where I'm at the moment, getting through that the physical beliefs that I've been holding on to. And people need to know it's a lifelong journey. It's not something you just go and do and you conquer and everything's good and you move on with your life. We're always going to have those triggers, but it's really powerful to have the skills and the strategies that you need to get through it.
Definitely.
And it can be done.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Consciousness. Yeah, like you said earlier on, working with the mindset first and then being able to shift and change.
And self-acceptance, accepting who you are. Big one. Yeah.
Good stuff. Juicy stuff. All right, cool. So did you want to share something else there?
No, that's fine.
No, whatever comes up. I loved it. So moving from that, the law of attraction and being able to create whatever we want in our lives, I guess from the perspective, considering it's not something that you teach, I guess the message for everybody else then would be to just start listening in to themselves. Go find a teacher if they're interested in that. Esther and Jerry Hicks are amazing. If Joe Vitale, what's his name? Joe Vitale from The Secret.
Joe Vitale from The Secret.
As well. Great. There are some great teachers out there. So if any of our listeners are wanting more information on how to attract whatever it is that they want, please check out these people. They are amazing at what they do. Danielle, you have overcome some pretty amazing obstacles in your life and gone from victim to victor, as you put it in your own words. I would love for you to share what it's like, where you've come from and how other people can embrace their own lives.
Absolutely. Well, my journey really started when I was 18, when I actually got so emotionally depressed and fatigued in my life because I just didn't fit in with everybody. I was psychic. I could see everybody's future. I couldn't have solid friendships because I was always trying to save them because I could see what's going to come next. And I ended up in a psych ward. He just said that I was bipolar because if something was really bad, I used to laugh because spirit were in my ear going, see the bright side, see the bright side. It's actually doing them a favor. And they were giving me all this information. And I didn't know whether I was Arthur or Martha. I had my human self and then I had my spiritual self. So I ended up in a shrink's ward and he said, you need to go on antidepressants. And it was that moment in 92, I went, I am not taking drugs. There is nothing wrong with me. It was this light bulb moment. And I remember laying on the couch one day and I just come home from school and I was always tired because to keep up with this sort of energy, it can be quite exhausting. And I actually had an out-of-body experience. I believe I died, I don't know how long for, but I had an out-of-body experience and I saw myself laying on the bed and I went, I like it up here. I'm not coming back to this physical self. No way. This is amazing. The joy and the unconditional love and the peace and it's just an amazing place. So anyone who fears death, don't, because it's never a death. You're just transitioning back to non-physical. But I remember laying there and the next minute I had this massive, big American elder come down beside me and he's sitting there going, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? This isn't your time. We had this conversation. He said, you need to go back to your physical self and you need to share Spirit's message. That's your purpose here on this life. And what was I at that time? 17. I'm sitting there going, what? This is a bit big. I just want to go to my job at the convenience store, just do my thing, earn my money. And so he did this sort of medicinal thing upon me. I don't even know what it is, to be honest with you, but he sort of healed me because I was always such a sickly kid. Mm-hmm. And and he healed me and he goes, you are now part of the Lakota tribe. So he goes, you are sharing Lakota's message. And that's when I started my own business at 18 doing tarot readings under Lakota's tarot guidance.
Wow.
So, yeah, and that's the difference with me. I'm not book trained. I ask spirit. Everything I ask spirit. So another big example I had is I had a separation in my long-term relationship and I had a son. And I started on the dating scene. And my past relationship was quite loveless. He was a lovely guy and everything, but we just did not connect on a physical sense. And so I went online dating, didn't I? Oh, Danielle will find her love online. Yes, that's what I thought. Anyway, I did end up meeting somebody and they got a little bit too infatuated with me. But then I was overwhelmed by the amount of love and attention and energy this man was giving me. Didn't like him as a person, now I look back, but it was everything's feeling based. If you're feeling good, you'll attach yourself to it. It's kind of the same as alcohol and drugs and everything else that people go to feel good. That's what this person did to me. But it turns out one night he caught up with me at a nightclub and he spiked my drink and raped me as a result. So luckily my mum was there that night, and it was a big process. I won't bore you with it, but I got pregnant as a result, and I now have a 9-year-old son that I've been raising on my own. And a good couple of years I was like, why me? I'm psychic, man. I should have seen this coming. Like, why me? How could I manifest this? And all the self-sabotaging questions. But Spirit come down one day and said, you need to go easy on yourself. Your child chose you. It's not about the circumstances. It's not about him. And it's actually not about you. It was about my son choosing me to be his guide in this life. And it was just from that moment on, and there's a big story in between, but it was from that moment I just found myself. And they just said, you need to forgive yourself. Don't worry about him. Don't worry about anyone else that have done things to you. You need to forgive yourself, because I was more beating myself up. Why would I put myself in a dangerous situation? Why would I spend energy there? Why me? Why this? Why? Poor me, victim. And yeah, it took me a good 2 years, but I forgave him. Mm-hmm. So I did. I'm a very big one for self-scripts, how you talk to yourself. So I just said, I forgive you. You are mentally unwell. This isn't about you. And it wasn't about me, it was about my son. And I talked my way through it, just kept talking my way through it. And I did. I eventually, after 2.5 years, I forgave him sincerely from a place of heart. And I have had no connection with him because he kept meddling still. So when people are still meddling in your life, like exes and that, there's still an energetic residual energy that you've got going on within you to keep attracting it. Mm-hmm. So, but as soon as I found that true forgiveness, I forgave myself first. You did nothing wrong, Danielle. You did nothing wrong. This isn't about you. There's something wrong with them. Set them free. Fix yourself. Sort yourself out. And that's when the laws of attraction really come into my life, and I took off from there. So, yeah, and now I help other ladies that have been through very similar situations, just through understanding that it's not always something that you've done. You don't have to take blame. Mm.
Yeah, that's a really great point there, because there are so many women and thank you so much for sharing your story. There are so many women that have been raped, whether it's as a child, whether it's molestation, or whether it's, as a teenager or as an adult. And there's a lot of space there, a lot of healing space that is often required for that person. So for any of our listeners that may have experienced that themselves, what would you say to them for their own healing space?
Take time out back to yourself. Go back to self. I think it's really important to understand that. Where do you start? I'm just trying to get my pieces. I think once again, support is big. What I struggled with the most is I hated people telling me what to do. I really hated going to a counsellor and going to the places where they either got you to tell your story all the time, but nothing ever got fixed. There was no solution. Yeah. I would really encourage people to reach out to someone, probably more in the spiritual sense, a spiritual teacher, because there's a level of empathy there. Not sympathy, I feel sorry for you or anything, but a level of empathy. And you have to want to heal. You have to want to heal. That's the biggest foundation, because a lot of people, they don't know where to start. And the only place to start is to acknowledge that you want to heal, you need help. And then Spirit will bring the help towards you. I had all my helpers come as soon as I said, I need to heal. So, it's an internal job, and it's really focusing back on self and understanding that it wasn't your fault. There was nothing you did wrong. And to take the experience and now focus upon what you do want, as opposed to what happened. So when I was raped and I had a child to raise as a result, so I had that constant reminder there, day in, day out, of what happened to me, I made the conscious choice to not let it define me. I'm not letting this experience define me. I'm a big, strong, powerful woman. I can do anything I set my mind to. I really invested myself in business. Like, I really invested in helping others, because when I helped others, I learned so much more myself. So, yeah, for the ladies out there that have experienced something like this, please don't take fault and get the help. Talk to people, reach out, and you just got to get that ball, that momentum rolling, and then you just find what's right for you. It's kind of hard to say sometimes, because if women are very, very feeling very vulnerable and they're at that weakest moment in their life, it's up to them to sort of say, nope, no more, I'm moving on. So that's what sort of how you turn from victim to victor. You got to want it for yourself so bad. So bad. And I wanted it so bad. I had a child to raise. Like, I live my life every day how I want my kids to be. And even though I got 2 boys, they're both very sensitive, and I don't want them to be victims, and I don't want them to be perpetrators either. So I live by example. Yeah.
Great. And I think there's such a, in the work that I do as well through NLP and timeline therapy, I often use that, and it sounds so harsh sometimes. I guess it's like victim, but pity party. Like, we as humans, and I don't want it to be, it's such a touchy subject, and everybody's experience is their own. From my own experience and from my own learnings and working with clients that have gone through some things like this as well, I see that that it's such a fine line to sit in between that, fuck me, like, excuse my French, but I didn't deserve this, and it is that victim space, isn't it? And it's that pity party space, and to shift that mindset when something like that has happened to you, that is time, and that is our own time. And like you said, find the people that are right for you. Reliving stories may not be the right way for you to get through what you need to get through. I know with what you do, Danielle, and also with what I do through timeline therapy, it's fast, effective ways to actually heal the space and be able to move forward. So, yeah.
And it's okay to sit there. It's okay to sit there and feel it and understand that this actually did happen to you. But I've come up with a theory that if you have to release something, but replace it with something positive. Nice. So part of my coaching and my mentoring and the inspiring that I do, because you can only lead a person so far. I've had many teachers that have served my purpose for a little while and sort of just didn't do it for me anymore. But I always emphasize, if you're going to release something like a thought that's not serving your purpose, you have to replace it with a thought that is going to serve your purpose and practice it. You have to do the work. I'd love to we'd be millionaires, Alicia, if we could come up with a little pill and just let them drink it each day and everything's all good again. But that's not the purpose of life. That's not the purpose of life. Life is a journey. It's not a race. It's a process, and it's time to honor. It's really time to honor yourself. And when you get going, your life is never going to be without problems per se. But when you get into alignment with who you are and what you want, as opposed to what you don't want all the time, shift happens. It really does. It really, really happens. And I think it's really important for people to just go easy with themselves along the way.
Yeah. Agreed. And that'd be a good bumper sticker. Shift happens as well, I reckon.
I think it is. Yeah. I think I can't remember someone else actually has said that, so I think I got it from him. But anyway.
Yeah, I like it. That's great. Oh, awesome. Are there any other gems that you would like to share with our listeners today? Anything coming to you that you feel would be important or serving?
I would love everyone to all know and start off with, and you can see me going to space now because Spirit are going, can you share this, please? And what I do when I read is I take out my ego. I take out my ego and everything that's happening in my life, and I just focus on the energy that's in front of me. But they're basically saying that your purpose in life is joy. Your job is not your purpose. Your purpose isn't a thing. It's the way you feel in life. So that's the biggest number one, because a lot of people are getting lost because they feel like their purpose is a job or their purpose is getting material things, but it's not. Your purpose is to find joy in everything you do every single day. I'm just trying to decide what they're saying. I need my cards here because they're sort of like my prompts, so I don't have my cards here. And to get selfish and to truly understand, go back to basics and truly sit in workshops that take you back to the fundamentals of what life's all about. You came here as an individual. You didn't come here, and you choose your soul family, which are your lovers and your brothers and sisters, and they're all your soul family and your friends, but you are still the individual. You have come here for your own individual journey. And it's really important to remember and honor that. And the more positive and upbeat and excited that you feel about your life, the more you will draw in people who are exactly the same, and you can live and bounce. And this is what you're doing yourself, Alicia. You've created the perfect platform for like attracts like. And you're bringing everyone. I mean, you're bringing me out of my shell today, because I would never do live stuff. I'm like, oh my God, it's on camera. But yeah, on yourself first. I can't. It's complicated to explain, but it's so easy in the general concept of it all. You've got to honor yourself. Look after yourself first. And I know it's really hard for people because of their experiences, but once again, you've got to want to do it for yourself. We all started from a place of want. We had the strong desire to create the life we desire. We all had it. And once you start doing it, once you get ego out of the way a little bit and you still really focus on what your heart and gut instinct tells you, you can't go wrong. And it's fun. It's fun. It is. It's just so fun. I love it. I love it. You get addicted to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you have an amazing life. It's been really, really lovely to hear part of your story and to share with you today. Thank you.
Oh, thanks for letting me share. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Well, that's it. That's another episode for Behind Closed Doors. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next week. Bye.